What's up, YouTube? It's your man, S.R.P. Sports, Religion, Politics. I just wanted to give my reaction to, let me put my seatbelt on. Yeah, I just want to give my reaction to Chris Colbert's fight last night with Nyambayar. I don't even know how to pronounce that dude's name. They call him King Tug. So, I want to give my reaction to that. I also want to talk about Pacquiao versus Spence and how I see that playing out. All right, so let's get to it. Chris Colbert, last night's performance. I was impressed. I loved it. I loved the jab right away. His jab is pretty good. It's solid right away. So for round one, I was like, "Woo!" That jab is like a piston. You know, it was. I love the way it was coming out. Real rapid. It was like a shotgun jab he was using right away. And I'm one of those people, like, skills pay the bills. Like, skills over everything. Like, skills even over power. Like if I'm gonna choose what I like, is gonna be a skill-based fighter over a power puncher. So what I saw from Colbert last night, you know, I'm like, wow, from round one, beautiful jab. You know, he sets up his right hand off the jab. You know, he had a good rhythm going. He's good ring generalship, good movement, in and outs, feints. You know, those are the things I liked about Colbert. But his opponent, Tug, I'm like, yo, this dude is dangerous. And I'm like, you know, that was it's like a trap fight. That dude is not, he's not a pushover at all. You know, I think people are, I seen some comments talking about Colbert, like, oh, he's not, you know, blah, 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 and, you know, I didn't like the performance, he got hit too much. Well, duh. Like, what do you think is going to happen when you step up in competition? You know, it's not going to be a cakewalk. To me, Tug was his best opponent thus far. I mean, Colbert's, he's young. So, you know, I did expect him to get hit because the dude's only loss, Tug's only loss, was to Gary Russell Jr. So, and Gary Russell's a good fighter. You know, another skill-based guy. So, yeah, what I noticed was Tug was like, his posture was kind of like a low posture with his chin down and his eyes up. And right away I was like, okay, he's coming to knock this. He's coming to knock Colbert out. Like, he's not playing. So right away in my mind, the whole fight, I'm saying, Chris Colbert better not play with this guy. He better not play with this guy. Because honestly, I wouldn't have been interested in this fight as much if he didn't talk all that nonsense about Wilder. Well, it wasn't nonsense, but it was his opinion. A lot of stuff he said was factual and, like, true. But it was definitely, I think he OD'd, though. Like, you can have your opinion, but you don't, you know, when it's getting to the point of disrespect, you know, it's no longer an opinion. It's just disrespect. So I think he was in his bag, and he was just saying stuff he shouldn't have said. But back to Tug, you know, Tug, what I noticed in his posture is he had his head down, his eyes up, his shoulders kind of like squared, which tells me that he's going for a knockout. And so throughout the fight, he was timing Colbert. So a lot of the shots that Colbert was getting hit with were right-handed shots, you know, the backhand punch. And the punches looked like they had an effect on Colbert. Like, and then after the fight, he pretty much admitted, yeah, this dude's probably the hardest puncher I've ever fought. You know, he can hit. And so, you know, I wasn't too surprised because I could see it throughout the fight. If he said anything else about Tug's power, not being there or something, you know, I would have knew he was lying. So, but I was like, yo, keep your hands up. The whole fight, you know, I had my 9-year-old son with me watching, and I'm like, the whole fight, I'm like, yo, son, just keep your hands up, like, you know, because I'm a native New Yorker. I'm from Brooklyn, so, you know, this fight with Tug had a ring to it. It reminded me of Zab Judah versus Kostya Tszyu. You know, Zab came out looking all nice and flashy and fast and powerful, and then he got clipped, you know, and then he did the chicken dance, and we all know his history. But I was very, you know, I don't know what it is, man. With Brooklyn fighters, man, you know, they got all the personality, all the skills, you know, and sometimes they get overconfident, you know. It's like reality bites them, you know. So I just didn't want it to happen to him. So I'm like, keep your hands up, keep your hands up, you know. And he kept, you know, he finally, I kid you not, I said to my 9-year-old, my son, I'm like, he's got to go to the high guard. I said, he's got to go to the high guard. He cannot go with that Mayweather shell type defense, because this dude's going to keep timing him, hitting him with the right hand over the jabs and stuff. So right when I said that, Colbert goes to his corner, and his trainer says, high guard, keep your guard high, keep your guard high. And I said, wow, amazing. That let me know that my boxing eye was validated. Like, okay, what I see is actually what his coach is seeing. You know, and his coach did a beautiful job, Colbert's coach, in the corner. He kept it real. He told him straight up, you know, what he was doing wrong, what he needed to improve on, you know. But right after that, the next round, I believe, Colbert came out with the high guard, started walking him down, and that was the best success Colbert had in the whole fight to me. You know, it was like Colbert was going for the knockout, high guard, walking him down, body, head, body, head, body. So I'm like, beautiful work, you know? And then he went away from it. I'm like, oh my goodness. He went back to the stupid shell type defense or whatever. And I'm like, he should have kept the high guard. He should have kept the high guard and kept walking him down. He would have burnt Tug out and beat Tug. Maybe got the knockout, the stoppage, had he stayed in that posture. One thing I like about Mayweather, you know, when Mayweather finds out what your weakness is, what a fighter's weakness is, he exploits it. He exploits it. You better believe Mayweather's going to use that, exploit your weakness, the whole fight. So I wish Colbert, you know, with time, he'll get better. But he definitely blew an opportunity to exploit a weakness, you know, I noticed. So, man, but it was a great fight. You know, all the controversy around the fight. You know, people watch just to see him lose. Colbert. I didn't watch to see him lose. I watched to see him win. I wanted to see him back up all that he was talking pretty much, and he didn't disappoint. I thought he got hit too much. I don't like that. I thought he was getting hit way too much. For someone with the skills that he has, he shouldn't have been getting hit with the same type of punch. At the end of the fight, he kind of threw me off because he's like, oh, you ain't going to hit me. If you hit me once with one good shot, you're lucky. You know, I'm slippery, I'm slick. Yeah, you are, but not last night, brother. Not last night. That guy was timing you. And any other fighter that was watching that fight, now they know how to beat you. Now they know how to beat you. So if you don't tighten that up, you have to have different types of defense you can go to. You know, like in the NFL, they have the prevent defense, you know. Then you have some defense that are aggressive and they blitz a lot. And, you know, you got to be able to switch up your defense, brother. You can't stick to the Philly shell the whole fight. You know, if it ain't working, go away from it. You know, All right, and that's pretty much my opinion on that fight. I thought that he did a great job. I wasn't. I was impressed. I don't have really much bad to say. I already expressed what I thought he could have did better. All right, and I want to get into Pacquiao versus Spence and what I think of Pacquiao versus Spence. For one, I don't think Spence has fought anyone as elusive, as unpredictable as Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao's speed and timing, his ability, his in and out movements, are gonna give Spence some issue. But if you look at Pacquiao's past, he did get knocked out by a slow Manuel Marquez, who just had good timing. Spence has good timing, good power, and he's a way better boxer than Marquez. I mean, let's just keep it real. Pacquiao did get roughed up by Jeff Horn when they fought, and he lost. I thought Pacquiao won that fight, but he did get roughed up. I think Spence is going to rough him up. He's going to rough him up and try to beat him up and make it rough and ugly. Spence is also a lot bigger than Jeff Horn, right? So there's a lot of things that Pacquiao's going to have a lot of issues with, and he's going to have to overcome. The thing with Pacquiao is he does really well against bigger fighters, because if you don't have the speed to match Pacquiao, it's almost like you're fighting two people in the ring if you don't have the speed to match him. That's what I noticed. And I feel like Spence is going to have fits in that ring dealing with Pacquiao's speed and angles. I can see if I had to, my heart is always going to go with Pacquiao. As a Christian, I love what Manny stands for. I love the fact that he loves God. I don't really get into I'm black, so I got to support the black fighter, or I'm, white people that say, I'm white, or Mexican say, I'm Mexican, I got to support the Mexican fighter. Anytime you put your hope in a person, you're going to get let down eventually. So I don't put my hope in people, I don't put all my faith in people, I just simply, I might want them to win, but I'm not I ain't putting all my eggs in their basket, because anything can happen. It's boxing, Who I think is gonna win, you have your great white hopes, you have your great black hopes. I don't have no hopes. I just straight, if I like a person, I'll say I like them. My heart is with them, but I'm not gonna be blind to skill. Just same thing with Wilder and Fury. I wasn't blind to the fact that Fury had more skills than Deontay Wilder. Most of the fighters that Wilder fights has more skill than Deontay Wilder. The only thing that Wilder usually, that equalizer, the power, Wilder has a great will to win. The equalizer, the power. His cardio's good, right? And he's quick. So those things have been getting Wilder past a lot of issues, So again, I'm really against people just, there's nothing wrong with supporting your countrymen and supporting your people. I do go for the Americans all the time, but I'm a Christian first. I'm a child of God first. I'm always going to support the Christian fighter. A part of me is always going to want to support the Christian fighter, period. So that's how I look at it. I don't, I'm not putting all my hope and faith in Manny Pacquiao, but I'm going to support the Christian fighter. Race doesn't mean anything to me when it comes to God, because God creates all people anyway, so what does it matter what color you are? I'm going to choose the guy who loves God and lives by God's standards and commandments. So, who do I think is going to win? Let's get to the meat and potatoes. I think Errol Spence is gonna win. I'm sorry, you know. I love Pacquiao. You know, I'm rooting for Pacquiao, but I just feel Errol Spence is. He knows everything that Manny does. Errol Spence is very intelligent, you know. But anything can happen. Like I said, I'm rooting for Pacquiao, but I think Errol Spence is gonna beat him, and I think it's just gonna get to a point where Manny's gonna run out of all of those moves and maneuvers that he does, and Errol is just gonna walk him down and start to steamroll him at some point in the fight. Because I saw Manny start slowing down against Thurman, and Thurman was able to get off on him eventually. With Spence, once Spence starts rolling, it's over. You know, so covered a lot of topics. Thank you for your time. Let me know what you think, and God bless.